Hello, my name is Matthew Sear, and I am recording a brief coding session in which I am working on my CLI data gem portfolio project for Flatiron School. This is my first portfolio project, and what I've decided to do is build a tool that extracts data about upcoming events from one or more websites and allows the user to interact with the command line interface to display the events according to the criterion that they select, which is either date, format, or location. Date and location are somewhat obvious, but format may not be. The type of events that I am scraping the information about are Magic the Gathering events. Magic the Gathering is a collectible card game, and there are many casual and competitive and professional level events that people play, throughout the world, primarily in the United States, but really in any country. And each event has a different format, which basically dictates the types of cards that can be in somebody's deck, whether they bring a deck ahead of time or they build one on site. And so some people might want to group upcoming events by format to determine whether they like that format enough to want to participate or know how to prepare if they do intend to participate. So the file that I have open right here is my... See, I kind of figured that would happen for some reason. I don't know why this is crashing within the interface here, the web interface. So let me pause. Quickly reset the IDE here because for some reason it just crashes intermittently and forces you to refresh and sometimes reclone the repository. Anyway, so the file that I have open here is the CLI file, which contains the bulk of the interface that the user will see in the form of some of the pre-written instructions about how to navigate the interface, and then data is generated from the event file here, which is its own class that scrapes the data from the websites where the event information is posted. Everything starts though with mtg event info, which calls on the mtg event info file and class to initiate or instantiate a new object from that class, and then do the call method on it. And the call method then triggers a series of other methods. So the first one is list events by, which outputs the initial welcome message and the options that the user has to select, and then the menu method, which then accepts input about how to proceed with any of these options, and then some of their sub options, and then the goodbye method, which just thanks the user for using the tool. So things are working in a very general sense right now, but I don't quite have the kinks worked out in terms of some of the menu navigation. Like whenever I press the option for back or enter back, then it says that it doesn't understand, because I have this "I do not understand your selection" else statement. But yeah, not really too worried about that right now. I'm just trying to work on some of the actual data capture. So I'll do a quick demonstration. And so it outputs the welcome message, the options to select, and then the instruction to enter a number corresponding to the option the user wants to choose. So I've been working on the date one, which is actually working well in terms of outputting the events. But as you can see right here in this method for the event here, I have the date just set to dummy because I haven't got around to identifying what to scrape with that yet. So I am going to work on that part next. And I think that I've identified the element. So it seems like the date appears on the event icon div, which I hope is not problematic for any reason, but trying to think how. So I'm already iterating through the event os-event class div to obtain this other information, like the name and location. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to do the same thing with the date. So under that, what have I done already? Event title, no, event type. The event title will be important because I also want to extract the URL for the event page, which I'll do once I get the date taken care of, but that's the good thing to take note of right now. I guess the ID of the event class that's actually set as the date, which is, that could be useful, but I don't know how to extract that information, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on that first. So getting attributes value into a string. So I'm already iterating through page events, which is set to the event OS event variable. So maybe it would just be page event dot CSS. No, I see that I had already actually put the prospective element tag for obtaining the URL that I just talked about a second ago, so maybe that wasn't working, or I hadn't actually developed that yet, I don't know. So, let's see. Having a difficult time parsing this for some reason. So, no names equals doc.css. So that's what I did, the same thing there, and then so for each of those things, so it would be just event bracket ID maybe? Like page event bracket ID. So let's see if that actually works. We'll close this and try to rerun it. Oh, okay, wow, that was really helpful that I noticed that, because what I was going to try to do before was actually just obtain the Jan 2627 somehow from this event icon class, but the way that they have this structured is actually really helpful to me, so that makes it super easy. And let's just make sure that that all looks correct. 126, yep, wow, okay, great. Sometimes things just work out better than I expect them to, so that's helpful. Alright, so now then we need to check out how to get this more info URL to work. as an aside, I'm not sure about the naming convention for this. I feel like it's bad whenever you start something with caps, because I think that has something to do with like it being the interpreter kind of recognizing it as a different type of like, I don't know if variable or object, what the correct term would be there, because I don't know what it represents. But I just started it off with like a lowercase character and then use camel case to name that. But let's see what that outputs, I guess. And I think part of the issue too, unless I did change this, is that I don't actually have a thing here for the URL, so I don't know. Maybe it is working and I just didn't test the output. And I don't want to end up putting it here anyway. This would be like the more details list view, so I want to just see if this is outputting the data correctly, which I suppose I could use like pry or something, but I'm not that smart, so. What did we do? Line 34. No implicit conversion of string into end. What? I think this is throwing it off. But I don't understand why I had an event type anyway, because the div for this is event title. So it might have just been an error. Let's try that anyway. See if that fixes it. Okay, close. Alright, so yeah, it just needs to get the how do I get the value out of there? Like, I felt like that syntax was correct because obviously I did the same thing here to get the value. Well, that's an attribute tag though. I guess this is too, yeah, because it's the href attribute. So maybe it didn't work because I was using the wrong class. I think that was maybe it. So let's try one more time. No, I think that's still type conversion. Well, let's do a commit anyway, since we got the one part figured out. Added date key value pair to scrape CG class in file. Great. Okay, so going back to this now. I wonder if I just, I don't know if I put it like that, if that will work. I sort of doubt it, but yeah, okay, that doesn't do anything. Maybe if I put dots in like that. This just guessing at this point. I'll look it up in a second. Oop. Yeah, okay. So maybe in that same page, actually, I don't know if I'm missing something. So do I need to do another code block there? That'd be kind of annoying. So we already had this part. I don't know if this is... Nah, this doesn't even make any sense what I'm doing, I don't think, because setting a variable equal to this and then iterating through that. There's only one, so I don't really need to iterate, do I? Maybe if I just do link equals I think it's just something about the syntax of having the brackets right after the thing. So let's try that. Maybe something wrong. Yeah, it's the same thing. No implicit conversion of string into integer. It's like it's interpreting me as like using the brackets to select an array element. So I don't I don't know. Is there like just a dot inner? Is that a thing? Dot inner. that's not helpful. Like inner HTML. I don't know, maybe I should just try that. Let's see. Nope. That broke something. Yeah. Is it? Oh, maybe it's because it has to be capitalized. Nope. Undefined method. I don't know. Let me try to bring this. I don't think this matters, but it's at least like more fluid with the rest of the stuff. Yeah, that's still broken. Maybe. Oh, just .html maybe? Okay, so maybe that's the issue. Maybe I should lowercase it because it looks like that does something different like it does here. So we don't want that. Nope, still broken. Undefined method. Oh, I was looking at the problem and not the solution. And so it's inner underscore HTML. Oops. Alright, one more time. Let's see if that does anything. Not broken. Oh wait, what is this? It's getting div class events city Indianapolis. Yeah, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. Just need to search around a little bit more, I think, on this. Is this using something else? Yes, Ruby. Okay. Well, let's see if that does anything. It might not be formatted correctly to do anything with that, but I'm gonna try it. Let's see. Nope. Undefined method. Because, yeah, because value is the name of an attribute, so, well, maybe if we did href, I don't know. I don't understand why I thought href doesn't work anyway. Maybe it does. Did I try that? Nope. Okay, that's broken too. Undefined method href. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, okay. So maybe it's looking first for the array value of the, like, so if it's viewing, like say if there are hypothetically multiple href values within that and maybe it would look for an array index value first, so that's why I need to put the 0. Well, I guess I shouldn't get all excited about it, assuming that it's going to work whenever it might not. So let's first try that, and then I'll try to rationalize the explanation. No broken. Huzzah! Okay, so yeah, that makes sense to me. So like if there are multiple href values, or attributes, I guess, within the anchor tag, then it would probably look for them based on their index value. So like if I put a 1 in there, that's not going to work because there's not more than 1. Yeah. Yeah, okay, great. Sweet. Well, that helps a lot with that. So yeah, I'm eventually not going to use that to display, but it will be available to display whenever I go down to the sub-menu. Alright, so I think that was fairly productive for now. What else was I going to try to extract? I think the format of the event, and it does say open. See, this is an interesting quirk with Star City Games, which is one of the larger tournament organizers in the US anyway. They have a 2-day event most weekends where they're running a primary event starting on Saturday that has a day 2 in which they continue the same format from the first day, but then on day 2 they also have 2 smaller events with different formats. So I don't know if I'm going to want to include that. I guess probably, like, just me talking as a player, my assumption would be that if the primary event was one format, the other formats would be different than that. And I think that's going to be the case most of the time. As you can see here, they have, well, yeah, okay. So apparently they only offer Legacy Classics in places where Modern and Legacy are primarily good formats. Or like popular formats, I guess, would be the appropriate thing to say. Did SCGCon come up? Whatever. I was curious how that was formatted because most of them are event or open weekends. What? Okay. Open weekend through 5/25. This one must be formatted a little bit differently. I don't know how to handle exceptions, I guess, based on how this is formatted compared to the other one. Interesting, interesting. That'd be something I need to come back to as well. Though that is an invitational, so I guess it would be on people who are grinding for that particular event, like to be invited. That would be part of their aim in the first place. Like they want to get to the invitational event, so they'd be aware of it schedule-wise, because otherwise there's no point in attending. Unless there is also an open that weekend too. Oh, that's just a oh, nope, okay. Oh, this is the actual. This must just be a placeholder for now. I guess they don't have plans that far in advance. That's a good 5 months out. It's 4 months at least. Okay. So, anyway, getting back to, so I think we're looking for, hopefully they have like a main event. Okay, so the main event, and this is where I'm going to want the text of the anchor instead of the href attribute value. So what do we have? Is that ultimately part of that div? I guess it would be, right? So looks like it's under here. Okay. I don't know how deep we have to dig. Let's try it though. Let's say format box. div.formatbox. Let's try that. And again, I have this as MTG format in camel case because I think format must be some sort of actual Ruby command or whatever you want to call it. Oh, I suppose I should commit to, since we did resolve that issue with the link. So git resolve issue extracting event page URL. I don't know if I've copied anything else since. Oop. So great. Let's just make sure these commits are happening. Yeah. Okay. Great. So page event.css div dot, what was it? Format box. A, and then we'll do .text, and then let's put a little thing in there for that. Just be lazy. Okay, so that's pulling all of them from here, which is interesting. Format holder. Ah, okay. Event format main. That's not right though, because it's not the main format. But it must be digging down to, like, I don't think that's specific enough. So div dot main event dot, let's try that. Right. Maybe like that. Okay, I think that works. Yeah, that's what we needed to do, was specify the div that encapsulated this, because it was actually just giving all of them then. So does that data match up? Standard, yeah. Okay, great. Cool, so that was fun to figure out. Alright, well, I appreciate you watching, if you were in fact watching and listening to my thought processes and ways of kind of problem solving through some of these things. So hopefully, as I continue working on this, it will become a polished tool that can be used by